Hey folks, today's tutorial about print competition prep is about the matting around your images. You know, it's the often most overlooked part of a print competition piece, but we feel like it really adds a finishedness to your image and really can help drive up the score. I've got an image on my screen here, but I'm going to zoom in on it and let you see the texture in the mat. It's beautiful, has that grocery store paper bag type look, crunchiness in the mat, and it's done with textures. And we're going to show you our process for prepping an image for print competition using textures in your mat. You can always go with a solid color if you want. Black is always safe. White is great if you're doing a fine art piece. But to drive that score up and really make that mat have some impact, add some texture and add some color to the mat that's inside that image. So what we're going to do is get that image on our screen before the mat. This is a full frame shot of the image. So we're going to create a canvas that we're going to put the image into. Now you can add a mat by adding canvas, but we're going to create a canvas from scratch. And that's under File, New. I'm going to put in the settings of 20 inches wide, 16 inches tall, and 300. Now, why those settings, Mark? Well, I'll tell you why. In case I ever want to have the lab print this instead of entering digitally, I've got it set for the resolution of the lab. I can always take this finished image and res it down if I want to enter it digitally, but for now, we're going to create it like it's going to the lab. We're going to click OK, and that gives us just a nice white box to put our image into. I'm going to grab the image and just put it into our mat. Okay, there we are. If you look in our layers palette, we have the background layer and we've got the image on top of the layer. Okay, now we're going to add some color to the mat. Let's go in and pick a color that's pretty close to the theme of the image, which is red. There's lots of red in this image. Orange is going to be too bright. I want a dark red. Let's find the right color we're looking for. We're going to click OK. Select the background layer, and on a PC, Shift Control Backspace will fill it in. On a Mac, Shift Command Backspace will do the same thing. That mat is a little bit dark. I want it a little bit brighter. So let's open up our colors palette and bring that up a little more. Fill it in again. Awesome. Okay, that's pretty much where I want to be. Now don't forget, at the end, we're also going to be vignetting our mat. That's right, we're going to add a vignette to the mat for even one more step of oomphness to get our image really up there in the scores. So we've got the image now on the mat. I'm going to grab my texture. Now the problem with this texture is, even though it's beautiful, it's got a color in it. We've got to take the color out because we only want the texture, none of the color. And we can desaturate that image under File, Automate Adjustments, or just Shift Control U or Shift Command U on a Mac will take all of the color out. Now we simply drag it into our mat. We're going to place that on top of the background layer and then transform it so that it takes up the entire image. Okay, it's gray because we took the color out. Now we're going to change the layer mode from normal to soft light. And now it's starting to come together. If you look at the mat, there's that crunchy texture we're after, and we've got the color coming from inside the image. That is exactly what we want. Okay, there's one thing that I do on top of that, and that's to vignette the mat. And what that's going to do is darken the edges and give us just a little bit of a sunrise type glow around the image. Okay, I'm going to do that by duplicating my background layer. I'm going to change that layer from normal to multiply, and it gets much darker. I'm going to place a layer mask on that, and using black ink, I'm going to paint real close to the edge of the image. And you'll notice the sunrise starting to come up over the edge of the image. I'm going to do that on all four sides of the image. Okay, we're going to zoom back on that just so we can kind of see what we're getting. Yeah, that's what we want. You see that glowing around the image? Man, that just really adds to it. Okay, we're going to merge that background. Now we're going to stroke the image. And again, we want a color that's inside the image. Boy, our color that came up was really, really close. It's kind of like a tan color. We're going to bring it down just a little bit. Okay. And the stroke structure, you always want the position to be inside, not outside, because that's going to give you really sharp corners to your stroke. We're going to click OK, and there you have it. An image with a very nice texture inside the matte and a vignetted matte that's really going to add to those scores.